Hi everyone! In this video, I'm going to be showing how I lesson plan for a week, but in particular, how I plan our week when we are a little behind. So let's get into it. So the idea is really pretty simple. It's probably something that you already can guess, but pretty much it's that we will do makeup work. And so we will have to do more than what we usually do, but it's gonna be in a way to where my child will not be overwhelmed and just like so tired by the end of the day. What I do is I look through the lesson plan, or I look through the curriculum or the workbook, and then I see which lessons are more on the light side, so that way I can combine them and do 2 lessons in a day versus just 1, and that way he can start to catch up. So I'm gonna go more into detail in how that will work, because some of the books are a little different than the others. And so I'm gonna go ahead and show how they are different, and so how I can go ahead and plan accordingly. So looking at the calendar, we started August 19th. I hope this color coordinating doesn't throw you off, but we did start on the 19th. And so some workbooks, they have 1 lesson a day. So starting from here, we would just count up to where we are now, which is the 16th. And counting all those, we should be on lesson 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20. We should be starting lesson 25. So now there's other workbooks. The way they organize it is they'll say lesson 1, day 1, and then day 2, day 3, all the way to day 5, and then they'll go on to the next lesson, lesson 2. So it's more like a week, a lesson, if that makes sense. So in that case, we should be on lesson 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we should be starting lesson 5, day 1 in those cases. So now I'm gonna go to the books. These are the books that we're using for language arts. And I'm gonna go individually. So let's start with grammar, for example. With grammar, you'll notice it's only 1 lesson per day. So that's pretty easy to kind of follow. So like I said, we should be on lesson 25. And right now, we're only on, well, for starting Monday, we were on lesson 17. So we're behind 17, 18, 19, 22, 1, 2, 3. We're behind like over a week. I have no idea how that happened. So it probably is gonna take us like a couple weeks to make that up. But let's go there. So let me start with Monday. Monday we did lesson 17, and then today, which is Tuesday, so that was 17, I figured we would be able to do 2 lessons, because this is why. This is what I look for so that I know it's doable, is if there's not too much writing involved. So like in this case, for this lesson, he was able to just underline and add periods, just write an S, and then underline. There was no writing at all involved. So I thought, oh, that was super easy. He'll have energy enough to do the next lesson as well. So I combined these 2 lessons for 1 day. And so he did this page here and another page of no writing. So that was doable. So now tomorrow's Wednesday, and what I do is I look to see the same idea. Here, there's no writing involved. Here, half the page is no writing, and then there's 3 short questions that he'll have to rewrite. And then the lesson after that, no writing at all. So see how it's only like a few sentences. So he could definitely do those 2 in 1 day as well. So for Wednesday, I'm gonna do those 2. Now Thursday, I'm not too sure if he can combine 2 lessons, but I'm gonna try. So what do I have there? 22 and 23. Because this page has sentences, this one doesn't, this one doesn't, but then there's a couple more sentences. So a total of 5 short sentences. I think we're gonna try it, and that will get us see how there's 3 days that we'll be doing 2 lessons versus just the 1 lesson a day. So that will get us ahead for 3 days. Now I'm gonna throw another curveball in here. Friday, we're gonna have the day off because a very special person in my life is getting married, and we're gonna definitely need that day off just to prepare for all of that. So I will be open to, because we're only behind in these 3 subjects, I'm willing to do them on Saturday, but I'm not gonna stress if we can't do it on Saturday, and if he really just wants to take a break, even though Friday is a break. So I'll see how he's feeling Saturday, and I'm willing to kind of do just 1 lesson per subject on Saturday. So it's short, he can totally do that, like under 30 minutes. So that's just another idea. If you absolutely need to do just like 1 or 2 short lessons on the weekend, that's another option of a way to catch up. And as long as it's like really short, like I'm talking 30 minutes less, so that way they definitely can see the weekend as what it's meant for, which is rest. Okay, anyways, moving on now to spelling. So that was grammar. Let's see how spelling is set up. Okay, spelling is a little different, and I kind of don't even want to get into it that much because I don't want it to be so confusing. But we did not start at the beginning because some of the words were just way too easy. I didn't feel like it was a need for him to go over these words. So we started where I felt like he could actually learn something new. So we started kind of in the middle of the book. So because of that, I'm not really going to get into spelling. I'm going to just kind of leave that as is and not worry or stress too much about that, because once we are done with this book, like say we're done with this book early before the year ends, I'll go ahead and move on to the next book, and that's how that will work. So I'm not going to get into that. Let's see writing, how this one's set up. Okay, so if you notice the table of contents, lesson 1 will last 5 days, and it will go on to 36 weeks total. That will equal the 180 days of the year. So we should be on lesson 5. However, like I said, we're behind. So on Monday, we were on lesson 4, day 3. And then today, we did lesson 4, day 4. This one's going to be a little harder to make up because it does have a lot of writing involved. But if you notice, there is, for example, tomorrow, I think he can combine these two. So I'll show you what that looks like. So again, on Monday, it was this. He had to write these words. And then today, he had to write multiple words. So I didn't feel like he would have enough energy to do this page and another page of writing. So if you notice, day 5, it's a whole page of writing, and I'm not sure he would have enough energy to do this whole page and this whole page of writing. So tomorrow I am going to leave it with just 1 day, but then tomorrow you'll notice it's this page of writing, but then on lesson 5, day 2, it's only going to be underlining. So I think he can do both this page and this page on Thursday. And so he'll be making up 1 day. So next week, he will have to continue to combine pages to catch up. But that's how it's going to look so far with catching up this week. Now, I did want to mention that this principle can also be used for getting ahead in a subject, not necessarily just if you're behind, but you can also just do this just to get ahead, just so that you have that peace of mind, and if ever in the future something does come up, you're not stressing out over it. And so with that in mind, I did want to bring out that we are ahead in math. So you'll notice that this is supposed to be week 5. We should be on chapter 3, lesson 6. However, we started the week off with chapter 3, lesson 8. And then today we were able to start chapter 4, lessons 1 and 2. So that's what this looks like, that. And then we didn't do the test, but we went ahead and started chapter 4, lesson 1 yesterday. And then today we were able to do 2 lessons because it seemed pretty short and he was going through it pretty fast. So Even in that sense, we were able to get even more ahead in math. So we did 2 and 3. And then I looked at the lesson book and I figured tomorrow we'll probably just do 1 lesson and then another just 1 lesson. But we'll be here. And so you can see that we're into week 6 when really we should be up here, finishing up week 5. So again, we're probably going to be about a week ahead in math. So that's what that looks like when you're ahead and you combine lessons to be ahead. Also with math, that's a good idea to get ahead if they are doing well and they're getting through it kind of quickly, the concepts quickly, because if there's ever a concept where he is getting stuck and he needs more time on it, that can help as well to kind of linger in that area where he needs it and without that stress of, you know, being behind. And then science and history were pretty much on track. So there's not really anything to say for that. But yeah, I just went ahead and wrote out what it is that I want to do, just looking at all the options they give us and then writing down what we plan to do for those weeks. For history, we did a lot just on one day, and because we are having Friday off, usually we do Tuesday, Thursday, and usually we do Art Friday, but since we're not going to be doing Art Friday, I'll just use Thursday to do the art lesson. And we are also behind, so we'll be doing lesson 3, and hopefully next week maybe we can make up with that curriculum as well. So I hope you found this a little helpful, just seeing how it is that you can combine lessons and try to make it up, and also just kind of write it out ahead of time so that way you're not kind of like winging it or it's up in the air. Sometimes when you do that, it can sneak up on you where like you're getting more and more behind. So it's nice to kind of just write it out, and so that way you can see how it can be done. And yeah, it's just really helpful. So again, I hope that was helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.